How's it going, everybody? This is Pastor Chris coming to you with your Passion Profile for this Good Friday, April the 10th. As we continue through Holy Week, we reach this Good Friday, this incredible day, this incredible holiday for the church calendar. That is often really hard to kind of understand and get our grips around. And so for today, I wanted to offer up a little look and perspective on Judas. Judas Iscariot, probably one of the more famous disciples because of his role in Passion Week and betraying Jesus, kind of held up as the scapegoat for a lot of things throughout history. Most people will know what a Judas is, or the entire idea of betraying based off of Judas's account. One of the problems that I have with that, though, is that has always been what made Holy Week, and particularly Good Friday, so hard for me to understand. Because when you encounter Judas and you see who he is and what he is, it's hard to get what his motivation would be for his actions. You see, Judas is most often understood just as a betrayer and being just this evil, ruled by Satan, bad guy. He's just a bad guy. Look what he did. Bad people, evil people. Judas is one of them, and that's what he's about. But looking at everything else that we know about Judas, it makes you kind of ask, why would he do something like that? Judas is understood by all four Gospels to be one of Jesus's 12 closest disciples, that he followed and did the work of Jesus for 3 years, that he was faithful in doing miracles and preaching and following Jesus and listening to his words and commands and sermons, and that he was faithfully following who Jesus was and what Jesus called him to do for a long period of time, giving up on earthly riches or things of that nature, that he served as a disciple. And to think that he could have swindled his way into that position makes even less sense. So when you encounter Judas and what he's about, and you ask, why would Judas do something like this? It again makes you ask, well, what did Judas know? Judas knew, and he faithfully understood, that Jesus was the Messiah, that Jesus was the Son of God, come to this world to save us. And that might hold the key in what Judas was trying to accomplish the whole time. You see, Judas, understanding who Jesus is, but maybe not fully understanding what Jesus was about, you begin to understand a path where he goes in front of the authorities and he agrees to betray Jesus, to stick Jesus into a situation where he will have to be the Messiah that he expects him to be. The Messiah has come to save us. Who's he going to save us from except for those Roman oppressors who are ruling over our country and our government? Surely he will throw off their shackles. But year after year after year, Jesus is just going around from town to town doing miracles and helping people and talking about how God offers love. And, that's nice and everything, but the Romans are still here. The Romans are the problem. So how about I do this plan? I get Jesus arrested. Jesus is taken in front of them. He's put on trial. They will try to put him down because of the rebel leader that he is. And then finally, Jesus will have to reveal who he truly is and be the Messiah that I know he is. And he completely misses it. He knows who Jesus is, but he doesn't understand what that means. And that's what makes Judas completely relatable to me, is because I see myself in him constantly. I know who Jesus is. Jesus is the Son of God. And I'm going to try to manipulate the situations that I'm in so that they work out the best. Not just for me, I'm not selfish. They work out the best for everybody. I don't have time to listen. I don't have time to serve. I don't have time to set up my own little places and follow these little cute laws about serving and helping your neighbor. I've got to help people. I've got to get rid of the Romans. The difference between Judas and a character we encountered earlier in the week, Peter, is Judas sees what comes of his manipulation. Or maybe a better word, Judas sees what comes of his sinfulness, and he despairs. We're told that he goes and he hangs himself on a tree full of shame for what he had done. He doesn't seek after forgiveness. He isn't faithful to who Jesus actually is. He loses it completely because Jesus isn't who he wanted him to be. Recognize who Judas is. Judas is all of us, taking what we know and trying to fashion it best into what we think it should be, and taking very little time to listen, to follow, to serve. And in those places, in those moments, we recognize that just as much as Judas did, we put Jesus on the cross. That's really what Good Friday is about. It's about our responsibility, our sin, my sin, driving Jesus to that place because he needed to save me. I couldn't do it myself. He needed to save me. So today, on this Good Friday, re-encounter Judas and ask yourself about the times that you tried to push Jesus to where he needed to be instead of following where he called you to be. Peace be with you. Happy Good Friday.